Hey guys, welcome back to some more reviews. The Explorer of Horror here, the Horror Boy, and welcome to my review of, and not just a review and discussion of the Banana Splits movie, which came out in 2019. It's a 5.0 on IMDb. Really, a 5.0? You couldn't give it a 6.0? At the very least, a 6.0. But if I were to rate it, I'd give it a 6.2, because I think it's a pretty fun little slasher film. But really, a 5.0, written by Danchka Eshezi, who has made plenty of other movies which I haven't seen, and I do not understand that rating of 5.0. Do you know how many movies this is way better than a 5.0? Hell, I just did a rant with the crowd. That movie gets like a 5.5, I think. Like, I just don't understand that. I do not understand that. And this is going to be a review that originally I was going to do around 3 weeks ago when I first seen the movie. But I'm kind of glad that I waited, because now I get to kind of have a review discussion about it. Because I do not agree with the attack on this movie and how literally the whole horror community is tossing this movie in one of the worst horror films ever made. I do not understand that. I've seen way worse than this. Have these people seen Creepshow 3? I'll bring it up in every single video almost. I don't care. Creepshow 3 will never leave my mind. Because Creepshow 3, that is a half-assed movie. You call this movie a half-assed movie? You really do? Like I said, I'm not going to sit here and disrespect anybody. I'm not going to sit here and talk shit about somebody because of their opinion on a movie. If you don't like this movie, that's fine. It's just I don't understand these reasonings for why this movie isn't liked. And I'll get into that in a second. I'll get into the movie review. So it's kind of a movie review and discussion, and also kind of defend this movie a little bit. Because this movie is not anything too groundbreaking. But it's not a movie that I would say is offensively bad and and it ruins the Banana Split show and it ruins these characters. If anything, it makes these characters better. They're badass. They're slashers. They're killer robot animatronics. You're seeing the prototype to Five Nights at Freddy's. So if we were to get a killer Five Nights at Freddy's movie, this is what you would get. I just do not understand the hate. I do not understand. I've seen plenty of slasher films that I think are worse than this. Seen plenty of them. Those Lionsgate slasher films, those are horrible movies. This, I don't get it. I don't get the hate. The whole horror community has this giant backlash against this movie, and I did hear about the production of this movie, and how they want to make it a fun movie and make it a cool idea and concept to kind of throw back to the Banana Split show and bring it back to a new audience. And I'll get into my problems with all that in a second. But I do want to get into the review portion really quick. And basically the movie is about, it's just a very simple plot. You know, this kid who's a really big fan of the Banana Split show. You have the show redone and remade. I get it. Is it the best remake of the show? And is it the best remake of the characters? No. But is it horrible? No. It's decent. It's decent. There's nothing wrong with it. What is so wrong with these these characters? People saying, oh, the character's done wrong. The redo of the show is done wrong. This is done wrong. This is done wrong. I'm like, they're decent. They're not the best, but with this kind of a budget, they're decent. This movie, I don't think, cost that much, and I don't know. I'm not seeing the budget here, but I'm pretty sure this movie didn't cost that much to make. They probably didn't have a huge budget with this movie, but you know what? Goddamn, they do not have one shot of really awful CGI in this movie. When a film can do that nowadays, I support that. This movie has practical gore effects, you know, and it has more than that, which we'll get into. But I gotta defend this movie because this movie is not that damn bad. It's not that great, but it's not horrible, horrendous shit like everybody's saying it is. But basically, this kid, he's a really big fan of the Banana Splits, and he is talking about how he wishes he could go one day. And so one day he ends up getting these tickets to the Banana Split show that his mom got him. His mom, who is a likable character and a decent actress. You know, that she had her moments where she wasn't really the best, but, you know, Danny Kind, playing Beth, you know, I thought was a decent character. That's another thing. These actors do a decent job. Is the acting the greatest? No. There's points in the story where you got annoying characters. These two people who are on Instagram, kind of this Instagram couple. They're kind of annoying. And, yeah, does it get confusing sometimes? Like, yeah, would people nowadays really be this enthusiastic about the Banana Splits? You kind of wonder about that. It's like, would they really be like that? Would people really be jumping for joy over this, like, you know, thing? You know, this run-down looking show. It's kind of like, you know, you got to kind of suspend your belief with that a little bit, I feel. And is it perfect? No. But I don't think it's horrendous. But they end up getting tickets to this Banana Split show. And they go there. And you see the backstage stuff going on. You find that this show is getting ready to get canceled. The show is on this last episode. From this asshole guy who took over as, I guess, the main guy who runs the show, says, "Oh, I want to cancel this and put more serious TV on." And basically these animatronics, you know, they overhear this, they malfunction, they go crazy. You know, these people are, after the show, the VIP part of the show, where everybody else has left. Now they're in the building. The building kind of gets shut down for a little bit. Not really locked down, but, you know, the building's kind of empty. And while they're in there, they're getting the tour and stuff like that. The animatronics go crazy and start killing people. And it's a slasher movie. And it's gory, it's practical. You have the Banana Splits characters being badass and killing people, looking pretty freaking intimidating at times. They're not, like, scary, but then again, they're not making a parody either. They're really going around killing people and stuff. So people saying, well, yeah, the characters aren't really that well done, and they make the Banana Splits characters awful and half-assed. I'm like, dude, they make them solid slashers. They're not going around and joking around and being like, you know, a joke of themselves. No, they're legit slashers. So I don't understand that part. And you have good gore effects. You got a lot of death scenes that are really cool. Like that magic trick death scene where one of the characters, like, saws a guy in half. There's a death scene with this really cool idea they introduced in the, you know, first half of the movie, because the first half is all about establishing everything, the lore, the characters, our leads, and our cast, and all that stuff. But in the beginning of the movie, you have this game that they play where they run through this obstacle course, and the ground is like, you know, slimy and slippery, and they got to go through this obstacle course while they're throwing pies at these people, the Banana Splits are. And it's foreshadowing for later on in the movie where it's kind of like a horror version of that. There's blood all over the ground, which makes it slippery. They're running through it. One of them ends up dying on it, and the other one thinks she makes it, until this one character, like, takes a hammer and splats her face. Just splats it into gore. It's a great effect. And you have plenty of great gore scenes in this movie. Plenty of great practical effects. Which is why I do not understand. If it was a bunch of shitty CGI effects and the CGI was horrible, I could understand why that would be hated. But these are all practical gore effects. Practical. You got a pretty cool scene where the elephant character, I don't really know all their names. No, I didn't really. That's another thing. I wasn't really the big fan of the show. As a matter of fact, the Banana Split show I never even found out about until like 3 or 4 years ago, because I heard the theme song as a kid, but I'd never seen the show. And then I was watching this documentary, I think, about like old school cartoons or old school shows or something like that. Some old school TV, about old school TV. I think it was a documentary, and they had the song on there, and then the TV, the Banana Split show was on there, and I was like, so that's what that theme song was from. Besides that, I didn't grow up with the Banana Splits, so I mean, really, people that have the whole nostalgia thing with the Banana Splits, I can't relate to that because I really didn't watched the show growing up. But, and apparently one guy played all the characters. Bingo, Fleagle, Snorky, and Drooper. Eric Bauza. Good job. Because it didn't seem like it was one person. It seemed like it was a lot of people. Oh, he did the voice. Okay, he voiced them. But I don't know who actually was like in the suits though. Oh, okay. Yeah, we got actual like different actors playing the characters in the suits. But yeah, I mean, it has some great gore effects. You have a part in the movie where there's this really asshole boyfriend character, and that whole thing kind of goes full circle. If you've seen the movie, you know what I mean. The kid actors really weren't that bad. They weren't the greatest, but they weren't that bad. The gore effects are pretty damn good for this low budget. They were damn good. And I like the plot of this movie. I like the idea of the killer animatronics and it being a slasher film. I love that. That's a plot that really interested me. I mean, when the trailer dropped, I was very, very into it. I was like, okay, this is going to be a very awesome slasher movie. And it didn't disappoint. You know, you have a decent score with the different renditions of the Banana Splits theme song. There's a kill where it literally takes a lollipop, shoves it down this guy's throat, and it's like bulging right here. sounds weird when I say it like that, but like it's painful the way it's done. Shoves it, you can see the practical effect of him choking on this lollipop. It's just a brutal scene. But when I describe it, it sounds totally fucking wrong. But you know, it sounds totally fucking wrong. But you know, and you had some decent characters. They weren't cardboard cutouts. They were, you know, decent. They weren't the best, but they weren't the worst. I like how the Beth character kind of has this badass moment in the movie where, like, halfway through, she becomes a badass. And, you know, starts to protect her family and stuff like that. I like that. That was a fucking awesome part of the movie. The son. The guy that played the son, I was thinking for a second, I'm like, man, the guy isn't the greatest actor. He's not going to be a great character. Then all of a sudden, I think his name is Austin, if I'm not mistaken. Romero Carey. Austin, I think that's what his name is. At first, he's very monotone. This is how he talks. No emotion. Just this. And I was like, oh, great. He's going to be a fucking awful actor in this movie. But no. His character does get better. They have arcs. I'm like, so what? Even the characters are done decently. They have arcs, moments, badass moments. The third act is awesome. Them rising up and fighting the robots. You have a cool plot line where, I think it's Tootie. It might have been Tootie. No, not Tootie. Snorky. I don't remember their characters' names, but the elephant character becomes a good guy and helps them fight the other animatronics. You know, there's some great scenes. Like the scene where the monkey character, or wherever it is, a character drops down and grabs the teen character, the teen guy, and grabs him and pulls him up here, and the mom goes up there and fights it and throws it down and like almost kills it. The ending of the movie where you find that they're pretty much getting all these kids together they're getting all these kids together for the last show. And they're going to keep these kids there forever because the show will never end. And that's a pretty creepy idea. And the parents go in there and save the kids, and they beat up the robots. It's, to me, like, I don't understand what is disappointing about this movie. There's decent characters. There's decent arcs. There's a decent story. There's great kills and great effects. Practical effects. Very well done practical effects. The animatronics are very well done. You know, they're not stupid, they're not idiotic, they're not dumb, they're just slashers, you know. The music. You know, you have the theme song, but you also have different versions of it. Cool. The ending, I liked, because I thought it was something that I didn't see coming. Where towards the end of the movie, this character, her husband, he literally just proposed to her, dies, and he's the one that gets killed in that magic trick death scene, and she's like going crazy. And the creator of these characters is like, oh yeah, there's one more character we didn't make yet, and it's over there. And she gets the costume on and kills him. And basically the movie ends with these animatronics all pretty much being destroyed, but she gets all of the parts together onto a car and just drives off, and she's a psychopath. It's like, oh, that's an interesting, ending. And there's an awesome part in the movie where the asshole guy comes out, and he comes out out of nowhere because you think he's dead. I was like, did he die? I didn't even notice him dying. But he comes and he's like, Beth, I'm so sorry. You're right. I was cheating on you, and it was wrong, and I'm gonna change as a person. And she just punches him, decks him, and says, I want a divorce. And then when she walks away, that girl, that psychopath girl, drives up with a car and just hits him in a practical effect. Because you're kind of wondering, because even the paramedics leave him there. He gets no help. They all drive off without help. He's like, I need some help. I'm hurt. I need some medical attention. And this car just goes wham and hits him. And it's done practically. And she drives off these, animatronics in the back of the car. And sequel. I'm like, alright, cool. I like that ending. I like the flow of the movie. It wasn't very boring. It was very fast paced. It was very quick. I mean, I'm not trying to make it seem like it was a freaking Oscar movie. There wasn't the best characters in the movie. There wasn't the best acting. There wasn't the best plot. But for this kind of a movie, I thought the plot and the characters and the gore effects worked well. Could have been gorier? Yes. I feel like they could have made it more gory. I feel like they could have made it more, just a little bit more. They need a little bit more of that edge to it. But for what it is, it's still pretty bloody and gory. But it needed I think the next movie, if they make a part 2, which I hope they make a part 2, because it's kind of hard to mess up this kind of a movie. But I'm one of the only few people I think that make a sequel to this. But if they make a part 2, make it more give it more of a sharp edge, give it more of a darker tone, and make the characters very intimidating looking. You can make the next movie where they're all decayed looking and stuff like that from the last movie. You can make it darker, make it more gory, make it just a really crazy, batshit crazy horror film. So that, I really enjoyed the movie. I think if you guys haven't seen this movie, go out and see it. I think it's actually a pretty damn fun slasher movie. So don't let all these critics and all the reviews and all this and that affect what you guys want to go see. This movie is really underrated. When I was seeing these reviews and hearing the reviews, I'm like, what are they talking about? Because I'm going to go over some of these points with you guys real quick. So, people's problem with this movie, the first thing to say is, oh, well, it half-asses the Banana Split show. It half-asses the production. It doesn't do what it should do. It's lazy. It does it very lazy. It doesn't have any passion behind it. They were making this movie as a good comeback for the Banana Splits. The characters. They were doing it to have fun, to be creative, and say, you know what? Instead of making another fucking reboot remake, let's actually try to sit down and make a legit movie. Legit, let's see what we can do with this. And, they created this interesting idea that I found to be intriguing and interesting, you know what I mean? And, that's what people say. They say it's half-assed. I'm like, dude, they got the music, they got the designs of the characters, not 100% accurate, but, close enough for me. For me. They were making this movie different. They were being original with it, trying to give it something of an original idea. And then people also say, well, it's a stupid idea of them being slashers. We wanted an actual Banana Splits movie. What is this? Why was this even made? So you want a PG, G-rated Banana Splits movie? Do you want to see that on the big screen? Do you really think that that'd be better to see a GPG Banana Splits movie instead of seeing a rated R gore fest. This wasn't a gore fest, but it could have been. If they make a part 2, I want it to be a dang gore fest. You know? So you'd rather see a G-rated PG Banana Splits movie than a R-rated bloody, you know, movie where they're killing people and they're slashers. It's like we're getting Five Nights at Freddy's, but you know we never got that movie. So this is kind of that movie that kind of shows you what it would be like. It's like, all right, it's interesting. I don't understand that. To me, it's more interesting to do something different with it and give it an original spin. Make it a slasher movie. Boom, simple, easy to make, you know, easy, affordable, and can reintroduce these characters into, you know, the new age, the community, and stuff like that. And it can have fun doing it, making the slashers. What's so wrong with that? Really, what's so wrong with that? And then people say, oh, well, you know, it doesn't really follow the original show that well, and, you know, it doesn't really have the best production. It had a low budget. It had a very low budget. Apparently, when I was watching, you could tell it had a low budget. I feel like they did the best they could with this little budget that they had. They tried to make this movie as big as they could with the little budget they had. They tried utilizing the atmosphere and the kills and stuff like that. And not really trying to make a super serious horror film. Trying to have fun with it. You know? There's some other points I'm trying to think about really quick because there was a lot of them that were made. You know, people saying it's a slow movie, it's boring. I don't understand that. It's an hour and 29 minutes, and I think it goes by at a decent pace. People say how the movie wasn't needed, and I'm like, wasn't really needed, no, but they decided to make it and make it original. They still did it. It's there. It's been made. It's original, and it's there. You know? What else did they say? I'm trying to think. There's a lot of points made in this movie that people were trying to say, oh, it's cringy, oh, it's a ridiculous idea. You know, we wanted to see the actual Banana Splits, we wanted to see the actual characters. You know, we wanted this, we wanted that, and it's like, dude, why are we comparing to what it's not instead of looking at what it is? That's the only problem that I have an issue with that thing. And the fact that I just don't understand the hate. What does this movie do that's so bad? Like, I just do not understand it. It's not a remake, it's not a reboot, it's not one of those generic, you know, haunted house, haunted ghost paranormal movies. You know, it's not Paranormal Activity Part 30. It's not, you know, another Conjuring spinoff. It's not any of that stuff. It's, alright, let's sit down and have fun with this idea. Let's have fun. But yet it gets totally and utterly destroyed when it comes out. And people say it's awful and it's terrible. One of the worst movies of the year. If somebody can legit explain to me in the comment section why this movie is so bad. Because I just explained to you all my reasons of why I think it's good. Good remake of the score. Good effects. Good gore. Good characters. Not the greatest character, but they're decent characters. They have arcs. You care about them. You remember them. Good third act. Definitely an unpredictable ending. I mean, what is so bad about the movie? It's not the best movie of all time, and I'm not trying to make it sound like it is, but it's not horrible. You want to see a horrible horror film? I can name you hundreds of horrible, awful horror films. But this, I do not see. I do not see. And, you know, I just don't get it. So you'd rather have a PG Banana Splits movie. Why? It's PG. These are horror fans saying this. We wanted to be the original Banana Splits. I'm like, then it wouldn't be a horror film, and it just wouldn't. It would not be as like fun to watch and successful. You know, it wouldn't have the attention on it. It would just be another freaking reboot to the Banana Splits movie. And no, they were like, no, let's be different. Let's think about this real quick. Let's see what we can do with this. You know, Five Nights at Freddy's was not made. So let's see if we can do this as kind of like a prototype to it, see what it looks like. And I like that. And they had passion for it. The guys behind this movie actually care about the show. You know? I don't know. I've been going on for a while with this movie, but the fact is it's underrated as hell. It's been destroyed. It's been mocked. It's been just utterly punched in the face and bared by the horror community, and I do not understand that response to the movie. It's not that good, but at the same time it's not that bad. It's a decent slasher film. Fun, decent slasher film. Yeah. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching my review on the Banana Splits movie. Hope you guys enjoyed the review and discussion. Let me know your guys' thoughts on the movie in the comments below. If you like it, if you don't like it, let me know what your thoughts are on it. If it's a bad movie, I want to hear your guys' thoughts on it. You know, so I'm definitely looking for feedback on this movie. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching the video. Hope you guys enjoyed the review. And The Explorer of Horror is out. See you guys later. Bye.